Tell you what, they smell so good. Hey, on this episode of Making It Work, I'm going to be making some sourdough bagels. I don't know, I guess we'll just get started. You need a cup of starter, which I'm going to measure out of this thing. This is one of those where you've got to start with fed sourdough starter. Oops. Okay, so 1 cup of sourdough starter, about 2/3 of a cup of water, distilled water. Always make sure it's distilled because the bleach in tap water will kill it. About 2/3. Obviously, I'm not a exact proportions type cook. This is a tablespoon of oil, and a half of a tablespoon of salt. You could add honey if you wanted instead of sugar. I'm just going to add about 1/8 of a cup to 1/4 of a cup. And this is just natural pure cane sugar. It's not brown sugar, it just has a brownish look because it's not highly processed. Okay, and the only reason I'm doing that is because I'm making cinnamon raisin bagels and I want a little bit of sweetness to it. And I'm going to stir that up just a little bit down in this pan so that it can kind of start to dissolve together. And then I like to use a mix of whole wheat flour and white flour, just regular unbleached all-purpose, or bread flour, as long as it's unbleached. That's the main thing. Because again, the bleach kills the little organisms that make sourdough do what sourdough does. So, and then 2 cups of white flour. You could do half and half, you could do all white, you could do all whole wheat. This is what I happen to have right now. I have a little bit of extra whole wheat in there. Okay, and then I'm actually going to add some cinnamon, hence cinnamon raisin. Just a nice covering. And about 1/2 a cup of raisins. Lock and load. Start it out slow or you'll have a mess. And then once it starts to kind of incorporate, you can turn it up a little bit because the mixer will get bogged down. So, fed the starter earlier, and now I'm mixing up the dough. I'm probably going to have to add a little water, it looks like. If it's a little dry, add a little water. If it's too wet, add a little more flour. And then this will sit overnight, probably oil it. And then in the morning I'll form the bagels. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to add a little water to that. about a tablespoon. Add a little bit at a time. So we're going to have to add a little bit more. Let me see if I can show this to you. See how it's kind of stuck on the edges? What I want is for it to all be in a ball in the center. So I'm going to add a little bit more water to it, and it'll cause it to become one nice ball of dough. Ooh, you can smell that cinnamon. It smells good. Yeah, now it's starting to pull it away from the sides. A little bit more off there. And now I have a nice ball of dough. So all I'm going to do with that now is put a little bit of oil on that, and I use the classic olive oil rather than virgin olive oil because the virgin olive oil just has too strong of a flavor. And then cover it with plastic, let it sit overnight. Okay, the sourdough bagels have risen overnight, and they look like that now. Let me see that. And all I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little bit of flour on my hands, just to keep it from sticking. I'm going to punch it down. Kind of just separate, loosen it from the bowl. Knead it just the tiniest little bit. And start shaping these into bagels. Some people roll them out and cut them so that they get even sizes and stuff like that. I'm just not that particular. So what I'm going to do is shape it into a bagel, set it here on parchment paper, and let them rise. I'm going to cover them with a damp towel and let them rise for about an hour or two. Not too. I usually like to kind of pre-cut mine, pre-slice them, and stick them in the fridge. See, I'm making pretty good sized holes, but they will, as you can see, like this one in particular, it's already swelled up. That hole will kind of disappear and become quite small. So I'm doing pretty good here. I usually get like, 8 or 9 of them. Okay, and just, this is a damp, clean towel. Cover them up and let them rise for about an hour or two. Okay, so here we are a couple hours later, and the bagels have obviously risen quite a bit. And like I said, the little holes, they're like little belly buttons. They've just about gone away. But what I'm going to do is boil them for about a minute a piece. You put them in there, boil about 30 seconds, and turn them over and boil another 30 seconds. And I'm preheating my oven to 450, and after they have boiled, then we're going to bake them for 14 to 15 minutes at 450. So after they're boiled, I'm going to put them on new parchment paper, because I found that the parchment paper where they were sitting, it just gets funny looking, like it'll have brown spots and stuff where they sat if I don't get them in exactly the same place and stuff. So I've just found it's better to use another piece of parchment paper. And also after they get boiled, that's the time that you would maybe want to put a glaze on them, either a milk glaze or an egg glaze, but I just kind of skip that part because I don't care if they're shiny or not. So here we go. And I just start counting as soon as I put it in there, in my head. And start turning them with my slotted spoon. And take them out. I'll show you the difference, like before and after boiling. Oh, and what's in here is just, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches of water and a tablespoon of baking soda. That's very important to get the whole bagel experience. Now I want you to see the difference between boiled and unboiled, if you can here. These just have a little bit browner and they're definitely more set. Where those, you know, if I touch them, they're just gonna down. Okay, second time around. Okay, so yeah, these are big breakfast size bagels. You can make them as big or as small as you want to. And that water again was just about probably 3 inches of water right from the tap and a tablespoon of baking soda. Just kind of stir it up in there, get it boiling, get the oven up to about 450. And then we'll let them bake for about 14 or 15 minutes. Just kind of keep an eye on them because they will brown fast. Okay, the oven is ready now. It's preheated to 450. And again, if you were going to do a wash of any sort, be it milk, egg, whatever, this would be the time to do it. And you could also sprinkle things on them like onion flakes or sesame seeds, poppy seeds, that type of thing. I've done cinnamon and raisin, and I don't care if they have a shininess to them or not. So in the oven they go for 14 to 15 minutes. Set timer. 14 minutes, and there we have nicely browned bagels. Not shiny or anything, but I don't care. They're going to taste good. This is cinnamon raisin sourdough bagels. Thanks for watching Making It Work.